For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God and the salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek.
I'm Don Smith, and I'm president of the Radio Bible Hour, and we're here today in the Radio Bible Hour studio with a friend of mine. We've been friends for about 8 years now. This is Jim's Mannion, who is the director of an organization called God's Planet for Haiti. It's an organization that Jim's founded a few years ago, and we've been involved for the last few years in trying to help Jim's in his project that he has going in central Haiti. It's near the big city of Hinch, which is a large city, but Jim's has founded a Christian school there, and it is growing into a mission center. And today we'd like to talk with Jim's a little bit about his work and about how God called him into the ministry that he's doing now, and maybe talk a little bit about how you might become involved in helping God's Planet for Haiti in their ministry of educating children in Haiti in the gospel of Jesus Christ. So, Jim's, we're glad to have you here today, and wonder if you'd just share with us a little bit about your past and about how God called you into this work.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you to Radio Bible Hour, who invite me just to come and share what's going on in the ministry. Like you said, I met Don Smith in 2006 in Jimani Project in Dominican to a mission trip. And since that time, so we stay in contact, we keep in touch. But usually, the God's Plan for Haiti, we start the mission in 2010. But God has put that dream in my heart when I was 14. It was a long time, but every year I keep speaking that dream to everybody and to let them know this is what God has put in my heart, and hopefully one day it will come to pass. But it usually comes to pass done in 2010.
So right after the earthquake in January of 2010, you were in Haiti, and of course a lot of us were down working in the relief projects after that awful earthquake. And at that time, I know, talking with you as we kind of reconnected, and we're talking about some of the things that we were involved in and you were involved in, and my heart was really touched by what you were wanting to do. And I think you talked about seeing the need for Christian education,
yes,
in Haiti, and yet seeing so much money wasted in some of the projects that were done there. And you had an idea that I thought was really important, to involve the community, to make them a part of the project that you were starting to think about at that time, which was the school near Hinch. And so talk a little bit about how you think it's important, or the importance of involving the community and the parents in the school, rather than making it a project where outsiders or Americans or foreigners come in and just build something or develop it. Something, I think, maybe a little bit about your philosophy about how that should be.
Well, as you know, Don, so I've been involved in the mission in Haiti for a long time. The great thing about it, because when American, I'm not only say American, when missionaries overseas come and they go to Haiti and they try to do everything for the people in Haiti, I mean, some of them, most of them, they take it for granted. So what we try to do, we not try to babysit the Haitian people. We not try to babysit the parents. So we are here just to work together with them. That's the reason why our school, it's a Christian school. All we're trying to do, we provide the money, but all the parents has to come together and just to provide for the labor. And that's the reason why our school is just so stronger. It's so powerful. And also the people has to know also, it's not only a place the kids will come to get a Christian education and we just feed them. And we have a pastor done every Friday. That's what happened. We have a pastor came from 10 to 11. They have like a church service for the kids at the school. So every parent has to put the input into that school. And that's the reason why, I mean, we're just growing, and we don't want to grow too fast because, as you know, it takes a lot of time, a lot of money just to support the children and to pay the staff, to pay the teacher. But it's a blessing. I mean, it's a huge blessing to see what God is doing and the idea God has put in in my mind just to plant that school.
We got involved in helping GEMS a little bit, and one of the things that really impressed me in working with GEMS was that every dollar that Radio Bible Hour gave GEMS, GEMS provided an accounting for that money. And we started going down and seeing the project firsthand, and when we provided the funds to help with the building was built, and it was done right, and the development of the project has been slow, and it's been systematic, and like you said, it's involved the parents of the children in the school at every step. Now, how many children do you have in the school now, Jim?
Now we have 60 children, but when we first started, we have 30 children. We start with two classrooms, and we start with the kids the age 3 and 4. So the idea is the kids will move to the next grade level, which is preschool A and preschool B. So now we have 60 children. We have preschool A, preschool B, and we have first grade and second grade. So we're just moving. We're going to a fourth year right now. Mm-hmm. But we could have more children, but we're not building like a school where people can come and just put a lot of children in. But what we're trying to do, we try to build like a quality and a Christian school. Make sure we don't put too many children in the classroom, and make sure the kids learn what what the national education in Haiti provide. Make sure they just they know what it's about. We know what is the gospel about. It's not only they come to eat and also go, but we really focus on teaching them about the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's very important to us, Don.
Yes. And tell me a little bit, if I were a parent trying to bring my child to your school, what would you ask from me? Now, if I were a Haitian parent, I might not have a lot of money, or I might not be able to provide a lot of resources, but you're not going to let me just bring my child for nothing.
Well, this is a great thing, Don. People ask me this question all the time. How I get the parents who come to a school for the tuition. What happened? Whatever work I'm doing at this village, I open it to everybody. The people who come, and I have a notebook, I write the name. They didn't know if I write the name. Now, those people, when it's time for the tuition, and they will bring the kids, the people who come and provide the labor, that's the one I take first.
Great.
But the parents has to provide the school. It's a $6.50 for the whole year, but they have to pay to sew the uniform. They have to give the money to buy the books. And we provide the school supplies like a notebook and things like that, but they have to do those things. Mm-hmm. Because what happened is, without book, the children will not be able just to learn. So they have to provide those things. Mm-hmm. And the second thing, which is the rule of the school. So they have a rule to follow. They have to sign like a contract with us, and they agree to follow all those rules, because if they miss some of them, they might be kicked out of the school. Mm-hmm. So okay. It's not it's not easy for the parents, but also it's not difficult. But we make it a way so they have to respect the school. They have to respect the teachers. They have to respect the workers. It has to be that way.
Mm-hmm. And I know that your school now is approved by the Haitian authorities as a certified school in Haiti. It's recognized by the government of Haiti as a legitimate and appropriate school. And I'm sure that requires that you meet certain standards as well to live up to that. But I'm really impressed with the idea that you require that your parents be involved in their children's education, and that they have to take responsibility to follow the rules that you all have set up to make. Now, you said the annual cost would be $6.50
for the year.
And it's hard for an American maybe to imagine that they could send their child to school for $6.50. But in Haiti, that might be a considerable sacrifice for that parent. And what about the parents that really, you knew that they didn't have the money? You made some other arrangements for them, I think.
Well, be honest with you, Don, this is the way I see it. As you know, I grew up in a very poor family. And my dad always tell me, you have to provide for your children. Yes, we have some parents, they don't have any money, but I try to push them a little bit harder to make an effort. Because if you don't do that, what happens is they take it for granted. So they have to do something. I'm not sending the parents to stealing or to do anything bad, but they have to, if they have a goat, they have to sell that goat and send your child to the school. Because I remember one day my dad told me he went to get some work, he didn't get any, and he has to pawn his pants to the pawn shop.
Wow.
So he can feed us.
Uh-huh.
So that's how bad it was for him. So if my dad has to take his pants to the pawn shop just to feed us, it was like maybe like 20 something years ago. But now I think our parents can, if you have a chicken, just sell it and send that child to school.
And you mentioned to me also that there was the fence post project too, that some of the parents were able to sort of help out by providing the fence posts that created the fence around the school property.
Yes, because what we did for the fence post, we have every parent has to bring 5 posts. Because the reason why I do it that way done, I don't want anybody to come with a machete and cut the fence, cut the post. Because if the parents provide it, now everybody's watching.
They'll protect it.
Everybody's protected. But if I did it by myself, guess what? They take it for granted. So they have to put the work into it.
And that's why it's important to have the community involved from the start. Even in building the fence, if the community has made an investment in that fence is less likely to disappear or to be damaged.
That's true.
When somebody needs a fence post for themselves. And so I think, this we're trying to communicate here is that Jim's philosophy for his school involves getting the parents to take responsibility for their children.
Yes.
And it promotes that value of responsibility for your children, which is one of the things that we need in our own country, as well as Haiti needs, to have parents really accept the responsibility for their children, not pass that responsibility on to somebody else. And I think you're promoting that value. What are some of the future goals that you have for the school at Hinch, James?
Well, the future goal we have, as you know, as we get the support coming, we're going to take 20 children every year from age 3 and 4. But this year, we have 60 children. Probably next year, we won't be able to take any children. The reason why the economies get down, and we're so thankful because most of the support come from East Tennessee. And the people has to know that too. And I'm so thankful to be in a state where people care about other people. And but our goal is to bring 20 children every year and to educate them and have the vocational school develop and teach the kids some trade and teach him how to fish. Later on, they can be fish by themselves. And also develop some, like you said, the community center, which is we can have that place when we have group come for the medical. So we have all kinds of program. And also one thing we would like to get involved with, it's agriculture. Because if you look at the Haiti history, because we used to be big in agriculture, and now we get everything from Dominican Republic. So my goal is to be able just to develop agriculture, and that way we have enough food just to provide for the school and also just to provide for the children to eat at the school.
Okay. And right now you serve a meal every day, plus a little bit of a breakfast as well for these 60 kids. So just imagine trying to run and administer a school, provide a meal every day for all of those children and the teachers, pay the salaries, and carry on the building projects that are going on. Jim's projects that his costs for the next year will be about $2,000 a month to do that. $24,000 will entirely fund the school through the end of 2015, through the end of next year. Anybody who's ever had any experience in American education knows that you can't run a single classroom on that kind of budget. You can't even pay a single teacher's salary for a year. And yet Jim's is running a school with 60 children, ministering to those children's needs, ministering to their parents for $2,000 a month. And that really is something. One of the things that excites me about the work that you're doing, Jim, you mentioned that most of the funding for this is coming from right here in East Tennessee. Radio Bible Hour is one of your partners. The Ogle Foundation in Gatlinburg is another partner. You have a variety of friends and supporters in this area.
Yes.
And they support this work because they know Jim's and trust him, have worked with him. We all have been down there. We go down there every year. Some of us go down several times a year. Jim spends more time in Haiti than he spends here in the USA now. But it's a work that we trust. We've seen it firsthand. We know that you're providing something that's really wonderful. In addition to that, you mentioned that the Carson Newman University Nursing Program goes down, works
Yes.
with you twice a year, usually, at least once a year right now. And they provide to the medical needs of that community where the school is, as well as administering services in other areas. The other thing that you and Eddie Holbrook, who's the chairman of your board, Eddie's from Rutledge, Tennessee, and you all have gone into the prison in the Hinch area there and started a prison ministry. And say a few words about that and how that's developed.
Well, as you know, the gentleman, the prison ministry, it's something God has put in my heart for a long time. I can say it's like over 8 years. So it's always good just to go to the jail and visit the people, because some people, they think when the people at the jail, they're a criminal. Not everybody is criminal in the jail, because they have so many innocent people. And the first time I went to that jail, I took Eddie Holbrook with me, and also we have my sister with me, and we was presenting the gospel to the people at the jail, and we have like over 80 people get saved. And we come back again, and last month was the third time we went to the jail. We have seen a big change. Every time we go down, we provide the toothpaste and a soap for them. But now we build the trust with the people at the jail. Now we just give them toothbrush and toothpaste and also the soap. So it's a very good thing. We have seen every time we go, we just share the gospel. We've seen people come to the Lord. And one of the greatest thing, last time, each cell asked me for a hymns book and also like a whole Bible.
For a hymn book,
for hymn book. So I bring that for them and I buy it for them. So they were so happy and they sing and they just praise God. So there's a lot of changes has been making in the jail. And the other thing, last year, we had, I think May this year, we had Carson Newman went to the jail, and then we provide the medical care for them. And we have some Haitian dentists go out and just clean the teeth and pull the teeth. So with the help of God's Plan for Haiti, Radio Bible Hour, and Ogle Foundation and Carson Newman, so we able just to provide those needs for the people at the jail. So it's a great ministry. Just God has put in our heart. That's the second thing we're working on, beside to educate the children and just to feed them, and it's the jail ministry.
Are there about 300 people, 300 yes. prisoners in that prison?
In that prison, there was 300. 300 people. But one thing in Haiti, jail is jail.
Oh yeah.
It's not like a hotel or mobile home. It's jail, because there's one room, and I can tell you, it's a 20 by 35. They have 108 people inside that room. Can you imagine being in a room like a 20 by 35, 108 people, no bed, no TV, nothing. Everybody has to sit down, and that's what they do. And they
last spring, I got to go with you to that prison with the Carson Newman nurses, and it's unlike anything I have ever seen. In that room that you're talking about, the men who are crowded in there do not even have room to lie down. So 24 hours a day, they sit back to back. And so when the gospel came into that prison, it came into one of the hardest places I've ever seen in my life. And now over 100 people in that prison have made professions of faith in Jesus Christ. And it's starting to change that environment. It's not the same place it was.
No, it is not.
And it's just like our society. When Christ comes into our hearts, he begins that transformation in our hearts that changes our lives. And in that same way, you see that in that prison, that closed environment there, and people are starting to change, and it changes, that whole system starts to change. I know the authorities who manage the prison are now so excited when they see you all coming. They were kind of suspicious at first, weren't they?
Yes. Now they were so thankful, and they just like, I don't know what to say, but the greatest thing, we just so thankful God can use us and to present the gospel and to serve His people. I mean,
and now they're making plans to open that ministry in a second prison.
In a second prison at
not too far away,
not
in
too far
away. Yeah. And so the school is not the only project that God's Planet for Haiti is involved in. It's doing all of these other things as well. And I would really encourage people to think about becoming a supporter of God's Planet for Haiti, and to think about making a contribution. Perhaps if you're a pastor, your church could consider becoming a monthly supporter and underwrite this ministry with a monthly contribution or an annual contribution to help us raise the money to meet that financial need of $24,000 a year to meet the basic needs of the ministry. I know there are some church pastors who could probably put that in their budget and take on that entire cost for a year and allow that that project to continue and grow. There are other churches maybe that could write you in for $100 a month or $50 a month or whatever the Lord might lay on their hearts. But as a representative of Radio Bible Hour, I just want to know you to know that I endorse this ministry that James is involved in. I know him to be a true man of God who loves the Lord first in his life and is a man of integrity who is doing exactly what he says he's doing in Haiti, and he's always been open about his ministry and about his life. And we've lived together with large groups on the mission field for days and weeks at a time, and I know James to be a man of his word and a man of God. And James, is there anything else you want to share? Maybe the mailing address for God's Planet, if people would like to send a donation, or maybe they want to get in touch with you personally to come and speak at their church when you're here in the U.S.
Yes, when I'm here, so the people can reach me. So we have a Facebook page also, God's Planet for Haiti, and also we have a P.O. Box address. It's a P.O. Box 4462, Maryville, Tennessee 37802. And also we have the website. We're working on it. It's www.godsplanet4haiti.org. So I'm here when I'm here. So if you want to get in touch with me, so I'm just open just to come and share with you and just tell you what God is doing. My position, like you said, yes, I'm the founder and the executive director of God's Planet for Haiti, but my position, it's a servant. So I'm here just to serve God's people. And I'm so thankful just God can use me as a young man just to serve His people. I think this is my position, and I'm open to everybody. You would like to come to a board meeting and to check out what's going on, how the money being spent. I mean, you're more than welcome. You want to bring a group to Haiti and see what we're doing, so you're more than welcome. So we're not hiding nothing. We have an open ministry. We have an open book for anybody who would like to come and see, because we're not wasting any money. And as the people know, so God's Planet for Haiti not paying me. So pretty much I'm so thankful. I get the support from Radio Bible Hour, who's supporting me for so many years just to stay in the ministry. And every penny people give to God's Planet for Haiti, it's spent 100% in God's Planet for Haiti.
That's great. That's great. Well, James, I sure appreciate you being with us today here at the office. And if people want to send donations to James, just designate it. You can send it to Radio Bible Hour, and we pass all of that straight through. Any designated offering coming to Radio Bible Hour for God's Planet goes straight to them without any money deducted. And we just want to remind people, too, that James has recognized God's Planet for Haiti as a 501c3 religious organization here in the States, so your contributions are tax deductible to the full extent allowed by the law. And James, we just want to continue to encourage people to pray for you and support God's Planet and to recognize the great work that you all are doing. Go to the Facebook page, and you can see some pictures there of the kids and the school.
Yes.
A number of building projects that have just been completed. A donor in Maryville made a great contribution of $5,000, and you all built a new kitchen.
Yes.
That's recently been completed. They asked to remain anonymous, but they're a wonderful young couple that I know, and it was just really, really exciting to see. Less than, I guess, 3 months after that donation came in, that building was done. You know, so, and that's really that's a lot of hard work and a great commitment to using the funds wisely and using them as they've been directed to be used. So, James, we'll continue to pray for you and encourage people to support God's Planet for Haiti.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.